A lot of you need to get over measuring yourself with the gross revenue because, like I said, it means jack shit. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday and I have an action-packed day. After I do this video, I have meetings galore. I'm excited to chat with everybody today. I wanted to give you an update on my podcast. I'm in the works to getting the podcast on iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, and I'm working to get it on Spotify. It's not there yet. You guys really need to look at the content strategy that you have and think about how you can get your content on like more TV channels. If you really look at all the social networks out there, it's really kind of like TV channels. So if you just put something on CNBC, why wouldn't you put it on CNN? And I think that's been a little oversight on my part where I just said, hey, we're on iTunes, we're on Google Play, we're on a couple other ones. But looking at some of these big ones coming up, I think that was an oversight on my part. So I am making that correction. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about today was based on gross revenue. When I talk to agency owners, I ask them, hey, what do you want your revenue in the next 12 months? And they always give me the gross, which at the end of the day means jack shit. And I think they look at people like, Garyvee, and they say, man, he's always bragging about making $100 million agency. And that's good, but what if I told you, and I don't know this, I would bet you that his profitability is not as big as everybody thinks. Probably close to breaking even if I had to guess. But here's the deal. Remember, he's a long-term player, so he doesn't care. And why did he create an agency? So he can use it as an incubator for all the other brands. And I think a lot of you need to get over measuring yourself with the gross revenue because, like I said, it means jack shit and it all comes down to profit. I know lots of agencies that are close to 10 million, but their profitability is close to 0 or under 5%. So whenever you're setting goals and you're measuring yourself, measure yourself on profitability. When I'm talking to some agency owners who are like, oh, we're $3 million, we're doing great. I'm like, oh, cool, what's the profit? They're like, yeah, we're losing money. I'm like, that's not good. Why are you even doing this? So I want you to change your expectations and your goals for gross revenue. It doesn't matter. Make sure you have net revenue. So let's go ahead and get into some Q&A. Adina asked, we're going to start employee performance reviews for our team. What are others doing in this area? Do you usually need to do a pay review at this time? Great question, Adina. The first thing I'm going to tell you is change the name of reviews or performance reviews. Reviews are negative and your employees, your team are going to go into that as well as your managers and think about, man, I'm getting reviewed. So everybody's going to be coming into it with the wrong perspective and usually walk away with like, did I make it out of that? I made it out alive. And you don't want that. What you want to do is you want to refer to it as a coaching session. So every 90 days, we would do a coaching session, a scheduled one, which replaced the performance reviews. Because at the end of the day, our employees are our number one asset and we wanted to make them better. We wanted to coach them. One of my jobs was to coach and mentor my leadership team. And then the leadership team was doing that with their directors and then the directors to do that with the managers and so on and so on. So you want to make sure you have a coaching moment where you focus on the good stuff first, and then you figure out together how can you actually improve. Look, there was a study done a couple years ago. They had these twins go in to interview for a job. They both said the same thing, but in a different order. The first twin went in, and they're both wearing the same clothes, went into the interview and said, I am moody, I'm bitchy, but I'm a hard worker. The next one comes in and says, I'm a hard worker, I'm bitchy, I'm moody. Everybody that they interviewed, they would hire the second one because our brains are programmed to hear the first thing and then kind of shut off. And so what we normally do in performance reviews, or what I've seen in performance reviews, is you start off with the negative and you end on the good part. But your employee, your team member is just going to be focusing on that the whole time versus focusing on the good. And even just changing that terminology from coaching to review, that changes the perspective effective. And to answer your question, do you need to increase pay each time you do that? No, absolutely not. But if that does come up, I want you to reference the video I just did, I think 2 days ago. I'll put a link somewhere up here. All right, so if you liked this video, make sure you comment. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you have any questions, I want to hear them. Go to jasonswenk.com/askswenk and ask your questions. And until next time, have a swank day.